I'm like holding my Kindle for comfort. So if I hold it throughout this whole video, just know. Also, I'm on my third coffee of the day, so I'm a little bit up here when I need to be down here. So I'm so sorry. Hello besties, welcome or welcome back. I'm Larissa, for those of you who don't know, nice to meet you. And for those of you who know, hello. Today, I'm gonna be doing something that's highly requested, which is going through some of my favorite Kindle Unlimited recommendations. Why did I say it like that? Showing you some of my favorite books that are on Kindle Unlimited. So if you have yourself a handy dandy Kindle, which you should, I highly, highly recommend. This is the paper white and it's just in black, and I got a black pop socket, which helps me read like this. It's literally so easy to read books on Kindle. Like, you read it so much faster. It tells you the percentage that you're on. You can highlight on there. If you have the paperback to something, but it's on Kindle, you can also read it and then go back and annotate it on your paperback, which I do quite a lot. Anyway, I highly recommend a Kindle. That's first and foremost. And if you have a Kindle, I highly recommend signing up for Kindle Unlimited, which just means you pay a certain amount a month and you get all these unlimited books.
I don't know why I didn't tell you guys how much it is. It's $9.99, so $10 a month, and you get the unlimited books. Don't know why I didn't say that before.
So I'm gonna go through some of my favorite books that are on Kindle Unlimited. I may have talked about a lot of these books before because I recommended them in different kind of videos, but you know, I gotta do it again because they're on Kindle Unlimited. I gotta tell you. If you like this video, I can definitely make more parts because I have more books that are on Kindle Unlimited I would love to talk about. These are just some of my favorites right now. That's it. Also, it's getting dark in my house right now, so we got a choppity chop in this bitch. Do we like my Lauryn Hill shirt? I just recently got Hale, Cobalt, and Meadows sweatshirts. So I'm living life, living lavish right now. Okay, let's discuss first and foremost the book I just finished recently, and it was really, really fun. Let's just say that all of a sudden I'm into serial killer romances. In my defense, sociopaths should not be this hot. I said what I said. I don't like that I started this way. There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark. Y'all, let me tell you what this book is about. First and foremost, it's dual POV. And it is a romance, a dark romance, but very unexpectedly dark. Let me explain. So the main character, Cole, is a serial killer. Okay, backtrack. There Are No Saints follows Cole and Mara. They're both artists. Now, Cole Blackwell happens to be one of the most famous artists in the city. He is very rich, very hot, and very famous. Three of my favorite things. He basically makes his art by killing people, and he has a rivalry with this guy Shaw in the city, who is also an artist and also a serial killer. People think they have a rivalry just in the art world, but really it goes way deeper than that on some Dexter shit, right? And basically one night Shaw takes an interest in Mara and wants to kill her. And Cole, on the other hand, takes an interest in Mara in some different ways. Oh my god, y'all, this book is fucked up in the best way possible. I went into this completely blind, right? I just saw the book on Kindle Unlimited and I was like, ooh, There Are No Saints. Okay. I was like, wait, serial killer. Okay. But then throughout the book, I was like, oh, serial killer. Okay. I mean, everyone has extracurricular activities, you know what I mean? It's none of my business what you do with your time. Anyway, it's a dark romance, a little bit on the thriller side, a little bit on the romance side, very spicy. Chapter 30 will live rent free in my mind until the end of time. Yeah, go read it. Shit was good. Next up, let's discuss a book that I'm reading right now. Everything I'm saying is me not reading the ending yet. I'm about 50% through, but I'm loving it, right? So still want to put it in here because I feel like you guys will love it. And I have the paperback. I'm reading on the paperback and on the Kindle. I do that a lot, but it is on Kindle Unlimited. I still want to talk about it. I just haven't finished it yet, but it's called Dirty Letters by V. Keeland and Penelope Ward. I love this book so much right now. So if you like Punk 57, I venture that you would like this book. It is a pen pal romance in the same way that Punk 57 is. So basically it follows Luca and Griffin, and it is dual POV. They were kids. Luca and Griffin became pen pals. Griffin lives in England and Luca lives in the US, and they started exchanging letters and became best friends over the years. And then at 17 years old, Luca stopped writing to Griffin, never told him why. And then 8 years later, her father dies and she goes to New York City to go through his things, and she finds a letter from Griffin. It was a letter he sent basically being like, you stopped writing to me and I can't believe you did that. And it's been 8 years and I'm still a little bit not over that. And she decides to write to him back and they rekindle that friendship. So it's basically childhood friends to lovers, second chance romance kind of thing. Since they've been pen pals, they use like pen last names, so they never found out who the other person was. And Griffin happens to be a rock star now and she happens to be a writer. Oh God, so far so good, baby. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give too much away, but so far it's cute, it's funny. I love Griffin, I love Luca. It also highlights a couple things in mental health that I haven't seen in other books, like agoraphobia, for instance. I adore seeing mental health in books. Like for someone that has like anxiety, for instance, I love seeing, you know, anxiety be portrayed and I love seeing mental health be talked about. So in this book, they do discuss that. I'm loving it so far, so I would highly recommend. But like I said, haven't finished it yet, but really enjoying. Next up, The Fine Print, Lauren Asher. Y'all know I love this book. I will scream it until the end of time. I adore this book. The Fine Print follows Zara and Rowan, also dual POV. Rowan is a billionaire. His grandfather passes away and leaves him a letter telling him that the one thing he wants from him to be able to own the company and own the shares to the company is if he takes over the amusement park that his grandfather had. His grandfather had amusement parks, hotels, just a bunch of stuff in the industry. And he leaves 2 letters to Rowan's brothers as well. So this is going to be a series. It's called The Dreamland Billionaires. So only the first one is out, but the 2 other brothers are also getting books. As for this one, Rowan goes to work in the amusement park and he meets Zara. And Rowan has been very closed off. He used to be such a dreamer. He used to love to draw. Because of life kicking him around, he stopped all of that. So the grandfather just kind of wanted him to get that magic back with the amusement park. And he meets Zara. And Zara is the cutest, best main character ever. I love Zara with all my heart. She's so strong. She's so funny. Oh, yes. And Zara basically wants to be one of the creators for the park, and she submits a drunk proposal one day telling Rowan why she should be in the creator group, and he hires her. It is Grumpy Sunshine. It is a billionaire romance. It has magic. It has spice. And the way I said magic, I don't mean like abracadabra. I mean like magic, like it feels magical, the book. That's what I mean. Diversity and disability representation too. I adored it. Because I don't read like a lot of books with Brazilian MCs, for instance. I don't even think I read one. I read Love in Other Words. Her mom is Brazilian, so she's half, but that's like the extent that I've seen books do. If you're out there, if you're an author, hey, write a Brazilian MC for your girl. Thank you so much. It was good to see in the fine print representation of diversity and of disabilities. Adored that. The book is so magical because it's in an amusement park. You get to go through fall and like winter with them. So there's also Halloween and Christmas and it is everything. If you also like groveling and if you like when the guy does like big romantic gestures for the girl, that's in this book too. It is everything. It is everything. I could not recommend it enough. Please read the fine print. Next up, the cheat sheet. The cheat sheet was so cute. Okay, so this is a friends to lovers and it follows Bree and Nathan. And Bree and Nathan have been best friends since high school. Now he's a professional football player and she teaches at a ballet studio. And basically they've been pining over each other for years. And neither one of them has told the other one because they don't want to ruin the friendship. But one night Bree gets really drunk and basically to a reporter spills her guts. So they are forced to fake date because the fans adored it. But then since they're fake dating, both of them take this opportunity to test out the waters and see what real dating would be like. It is so cute. Bree and Nathan reminded me a lot of Nathan and Haley from One Tree Hill, which I love. That's my favorite show and that's my favorite couples. They were so cute and funny and sweet. Some of the parts were a little bit too cheesy for me. I seem to be the only one that has a problem with like too cheesiness in books because a lot of people do love it. But when a book does something a little bit too cheesy, I'm like, oh no. And this book had a lot of that. So some parts I was like, okay, stop. It did not affect like my feelings towards the book. I still loved it. It was just some parts were a little bit cheesy, especially the ending. Like the ending was a little bit cliche, but it's okay. Adored. And the cheat sheet has no spice. So if you don't like spice, it doesn't have any. I personally do like spice, so that part kind of threw me off for a second, but it is very good still. And the cheat sheet's also dual POV. Next up, I had to do it. I had to do it. Birthday Girl Penelope Douglas. I don't care if you don't like this book. I do. I will take it to my grave. I love this book. I ate this book up. I read this book in one night and I regret nothing. So Birthday Girl. Once again, dual POV. It follows Jordan and Pike. And Jordan's a 19-year-old girl who has this boyfriend named Cole, and he's basically a piece of shit. We do not like him. We do not vouch for him. he does not exist. But for the point of the story, he does exist, and it's actually very useful that he's there because you meet his dad, Pike Lawson, and that's where it's at. Pike meets Jordan one night, and they do not know who the other person is. She finds out that Pike happens to be her boyfriend's dad. Yeah, her boyfriend's dad. So Pike is 38 and Jordan's 19. So it is an age gap romance. I love age gap. This was actually my first age gap. I didn't like it until this book. So I would say that if you don't like age gap, you should still give it a try because it will change your mind. Once you meet Pike Lawson, your mind will be changed. This man, he's a hot dad. So when I picture dad, Pike Lawson vibes, I picture like Ian Somerhalder. I picture Chris Hemsworth. I don't picture like a dad. I picture like a daddy. I don't picture a whole ass father is what I'm trying to get at. And Pike Lawson. So back to the point. Jordan and Cole, something happens to their apartment and they are forced to go live with Pike. There's a lot of tension, pining, spice. Oh, it is absolutely everything. I would highly recommend Birthday Girl, honestly. You will change your mind about age gaps once you read Birthday Girl. It's very dark in here, y'all. I'm sorry, but deal with it. I'm almost done.
I could just turn on the light, but for some reason that doesn't occur to me until later in the video. But eventually I'll get there.
Next up, Twisted Love and Twisted Games by Anna Huang. Both books. It's a series of 4 books. The other 2 have not come out yet. It is 4 best friends, and all 4 best friends have a book. The first 2 are already out, and the other 2 have not come out yet, but they're coming. The first one is Twisted Love. It follows Alex and Ava, and it is brother's best friend, dual POV. Ava, her brother, goes out of state for a reason, and he leaves Alex, his best friend, in charge of taking care of Ava. And take care of her he does. Alex is very icy, very grumpy, very traumatic past, and Ava's very sunshine, very loving, but also very traumatic past. So there's a lot of trauma bonding in this book. There's a lot of he changes for her type of thing. Let me just say, if you like groveling and if you like big gestures, this book is for you. This book is for you because does Alex grovel? And does he do romantic gestures like no other? Oh, highly recommend, right? But let me just say that if you like Twisted Love, you are not prepared for Twisted Games because Twisted Love was good. It was good. But Twisted Games, it was amazing. It was amazing, yes. Twisted Games follows Bridget and Reese and also dual POV. And Bridget happens to be a princess and Reese happens to be her bodyguard. Bridget is basically in line for the throne, but her brother comes before her. But once her brother decides to not take the throne, she's next. And now she has all this responsibility that she has to rise upon, and she cannot date anybody that is not royalty, but she falls for her bodyguard. And I would too if I were her because Reese Larson is everything. He is everything. Oh my god, I'm just remembering this book and it's already, oh, I love it so much. Yes. Next up, Marriage for One LMAs. This book is so comforting. This book is so cozy. If you are in a late fall night and it's cold outside, it's raining or it's snowing or whatever, you're by the fire, you're drinking a coffee, Marriage for One is the book you need to read during that time. It is, oh my god, y'all, listen. Their names are Jack and Rose. Titanic reference, right? At first I was a little bit like, okay, come on, because what I mentioned about the cheesiness, I was like, oh, but did I change my mind once I opened this book up? It follows Jack and Rose, obviously, and dual POV, once again, clearly my favorite. I love dual POV. It's a marriage of convenience. So it starts off with Jack and Rose getting married, and you have no idea why because they do not seem to know each other. They get married basically for a business deal, and Jack is very rich. Rose is opening up her own coffee shop, a local coffee shop, and he starts helping her out with that. They have to live together, so forced proximity. This book is very grumpy sunshine, and it is a slow burn. Make sure you're very patient, but it is so worth it. Oh my god, it's so good. I love this book. I highly recommend. And going from Marriage for One into my next one, The Spanish Love Deception, Elena Armas. Y'all know I love this book. Y'all know that I have a shark named Aaron Sharkford because of Aaron Blackford in this book. Yes, I love this book with my entire heart. But the reason why I'm saying From Marriage for One leading into this one is because in The Spanish Love Deception, there's this coffee shop that Lena and Aaron go to called Around the Corner. And Around the Corner is Rose's coffee shop in Marriage for One. And the girl that works at Around the Corner in Marriage for One also shows up in The Spanish Love Deception. I love little things like that. It makes my day. Anyway, Spanish Love Deception follows Lena and Aaron. Unfortunately, only one point of view, only Lena's. If I had Aaron's point of view, I wouldn't be here today. I would be dead. Aaron Blackford is one of my favorite book boyfriends I've ever encountered. Should I turn on the light, y'all? How's this? Hello? How's that?
I'm honestly ashamed of how long that took me, but I made it.
I turned on the lights for you. You're welcome. Remember Sadie from Awkward? You're welcome. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so this book is about Catalina, and she needs a date to her sister's wedding. So her sister's getting married in Spain. The best man happens to be her ex-boyfriend, and her ex-boyfriend did not end things on good terms, so she does not want to show up to that wedding without a date. But time's ticking and she cannot find a date, and she lied to her entire family saying that she had a boyfriend in New York that she was bringing, but she doesn't have a boyfriend. So Aaron, who works with her, tells her, hey, I'll go with you. And she's like, okay. But she doesn't like him and he doesn't like her. So you see the dilemma here. You have fake dating because he has to come to Spain with her, pretending to be her boyfriend to her entire family. You have a little enemies to lovers. You have a little workplace romance, and it gives. Aaron Blackford, let's just say his love language is touch. I'll leave it at that. Read The Spanish Love Deception, one of my favorite books ever. Real quickly, I need to say Ravenhood Trilogy. It's on Kindle Unlimited. Go read it. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. Go into it blindly. I beg you. Go into it knowing nothing, because that's how I went into it, and it was the best decision I've ever made. It became my favorite trilogy of all time. The only thing that's able to stand up top with the Ravenhood Trilogy for me is the Addicted Calloway Sisters series, because other than that, nothing compares. These books are everything. Go into it blind. Read it, trust me, just trust me. So I'm gonna end this off talking about my two favorite authors. So y'all know, Mariana Zapata and Colleen Hoover. So I had to go through their books really quick, the ones that are on Kindle Unlimited. Not all of them are, but I will tell you some amazing ones that are on there. Colleen doesn't have too much on Kindle Unlimited, but she does have Heartbones, Hopeless, and Regretting You, and all three masterpieces. Hopeless is everything, and I think you should read it immediately. It is one of her most underrated books. It's ridiculous that nobody talks about this book because it is one of my favorites. Dean and Sky are everything. Dean Holder, one of the best book boyfriends Colleen has ever written. Nothing stands to Alice Corrigan, nothing, but he comes pretty close. He's really good. And also Graham. Oh, Graham from All Your Perfects. Anyway, I'm getting lost in the point. Hopeless follows Dean and Sky, a lot of trauma, very sad story. I think it is one of the saddest stories Colleen has ever written, for sure. It's at least the one that hit me the deepest. So definitely trigger warning for all of these. Hopeless is amazing. It is a masterpiece. The plot twist in Hopeless is Colleen's most insane plot twist. Heartbones, if you like Cruel Summer by Taylor Swift, you'll like Heartbones. Heartbones is amazing. It gives you that summer feeling. Samson, read Heartbones. Yes, it is a summer story. Samson is everything. Yes. And Regretting You follows a mom and a daughter, and you get both love stories of theirs as well. Very underrated. I don't love the main girl. I love the mom, but I don't love the main girl, but she makes up for it in the end. But I don't love her most of the book, which is my only problem with Regretting You. But other than that, it's amazing. I have a whole video of Colleen Hoover, so if you want to know any details about the 3 books I just said, go to my Colleen video. I have an ultimate guide to Colleen Hoover books. Go on there. I talk about all 3 of these books, so you can check it out. Mariana. Let's end this with Mariana, my favorite author of all time. Once again, I'm not going to be really discussing these books because I'm working on a Mariana Zapata video, so once that comes, you'll see everything I have to say about all these books. But most of Mariana's books are on Kindle Unlimited, which is great because her books are very expensive. However, I'm just going to tell you my favorites. From Lukov with Love, million times yes. Yes, Ivan Lukov is everything. Jasmine and Him, everything. Yes, 5 stars. All roads lead here. Excuse me? Roads? Excuse me? This book? In the fall? Yes, please, 5 stars. Underlock, tattoo parlor, piercings, tattoos, motorcycles. Yes, 5 stars. The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, one of my favorite books of all time. Aiden Graves can run me over 1,000,000 times and I would be like, yes, thank you so much, sir. Treat me like your football. He's a football player, which explains that. 5 stars. Luna and the Lie. Ripley? Yeah, I'm not very into cars, but I will be into cars for Ripley. 100% yes, 5 stars. And wait for it. 5,000,000 stars, yes. Those are my favorites of Mariana that are on Kindle Unlimited. The only one of my favorite of her books that's not on Kindle Unlimited is Colty. But Colty is literally like $2, so I still think you should get it because it's so worth it, because that one is everything to me. I just mentioned all of my favorite Mariana books, but Colty is like on my top 3. Don't Look Up With Love, The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, Colty, All Roads Lead Here, and Wait For It are my top 5. And then Under Lock and Luna and the Lie are right after that. So I still think you should get Colty, but it's not in the Kindle Unlimited, so that's why I didn't include it on this. And the reason why I'm not talking about it, like I said, is because I'm making a Mariana video, so you will get all of them on there. I hope this helped, besties. That's all I've got for today. I can make a part 2 if you guys want, and I highly recommend Kindle Unlimited. Honestly, I've seen a couple people ask me if I recommend the Kindle. Yes, just period yes. If you are a big reader, you should have a Kindle, especially because like it helps you at night too. If you're like sleeping, well, if you're sleeping, you're not reading. That made no sense. If you're about to go to sleep and you're just laying in bed, it's easy to read with the Kindle. It's much easier. That's what I like to do. So I'm always reading like 2 books at once, a paperback and a Kindle. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, besties. I hope this helped, and I love you.